Welcome to Sohrat Podcast.
Assalamu alaikum. If you want to understand the Quran deeply, subscribe to the channel. The full video will be coming soon.
Yeah, exactly. Think of this as a trailer, a sneak peek into the huge themes we're about to explore in the third para.
And it is huge. You know, what's so interesting is that we're covering the end of Surah Al-Baqarah and the start of Surah Ali Imran.
It's an incredibly dense section of the Quran.
It really is. You jump from, like, the final laws for the community straight into some of the deepest theological stories.
And it kicks off with maybe the most famous verse of all, Ayat al-Kursi, the verse of the throne.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone knows it for protection, but if you actually stop and, read the meaning, it's this powerful declaration of God's total sovereignty.
It is. It describes God as Al-Hayyul Qayyum.
The ever-living, the sustainer.
Right. And it paints this picture of a God who is never, ever touched by sleep or slumber. Just total, constant awareness.
And that idea of life and death and who's really in control, it just flows right into the next story, doesn't it?
It does. Straight into Abraham's debate with King Nimrod. The king is so arrogant he thinks he controls life and death just because he can, pardon or execute someone.
But Abraham doesn't even engage on that level. He just completely shifts the goalposts.
He really does.
He says something like, okay, my Lord brings the sun from the east. Why don't you try bringing it from the west? It just exposes how flimsy the king's power really is.
Exactly. And that theme of God's absolute control over life gets even more visual with the next story, the one about the man passing by ruins.
A story of Uzair, right?
Yeah.
It's just incredible. He looks at this town in utter ruin and asks a very human question.
How can God possibly bring this back to life?
And the answer he gets is,
Yeah.
well, it's an experience. God makes him die for 100 years.
He wakes up thinking it's been maybe a day.
But then he sees the proof. He looks at his food and it's perfectly fresh. Hasn't rotted at all.
Right. While at the same time, his donkey.
His donkey is just a pile of bones.
Yeah.
He literally watches God reassemble the skeleton and cover it with flesh.
It's such a visceral lesson that time itself is completely under God's command.
And it connects right to Abraham and the four birds, this whole theme of resurrection. But then the text seems to take this hard left turn.
It does feel like that, from these huge miracles about life and death to financial law.
But I think the connection is growth, isn't it?
Yeah.
The contrast between charity and usury or riba.
That's the perfect way to put it. Just as God gives life to dead land, charity is shown as a seed that multiplies into hundreds of grains. It brings wealth to life.
Whereas usury, riba, it might look like growth on paper, but the Quran frames it as something destructive, something that creates nothing of real value.
Precisely. And then, as if to ground all this high-level theology, Al-Baqarah ends with the longest verse in the whole Quran.
Which is all about writing down your debts. So practical.
Very practical. And then it closes with that unbelievably comforting prayer. Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear.
It's such a beautiful ending. And then, boom, we're in Surah Ali Imran.
Right. And if Al-Baqarah was about the internal community, Ali Imran immediately turns its focus outward, especially toward Christian theology.
It focuses on the family of Imran, on Maryam and Isa, Mary and Jesus.
Exactly. You get the story of Mary in the sanctuary, Zachariah's prayer, but the core of it is in the miracles of Jesus.
The list is amazing. Speaking from the cradle, healing the sick.
Healing the blind and the leper, raising the dead.
But the one that always gets me is the clay bird. That he makes a bird from clay, breathes into it, and it becomes real.
It's a powerful scene, but notice the little phrase the Quran always adds right after.
Bismillah.
By God's permission. It affirms the miracle, it honors Jesus, but it makes it absolutely clear that the power wasn't his own, it was granted. A very fine but crucial distinction.
Wow. And we're just scratching the surface with this.
Oh, absolutely. Which
Okay.
is why this is just the teaser. But, maybe a good place to leave things is with an idea from the very start of Ali Imran. It talks about people who are firm in knowledge, and they aren't the ones who claim to have an answer for everything.
Right. They're the ones who have some humility.
Exactly. They are the ones who say, we believe in it, all of it is from our Lord. True knowledge isn't about solving every single puzzle. It's about accepting guidance and praying that your heart doesn't deviate.
That is a powerful place to stop. So remember, this is just a quick look. The full video will be coming soon, so make sure you subscribe. Thanks for joining us.